Hi, I'm Bob the Brit for the Brewclub, and today we're going to be talking about Shepherd Neame's 6.1% India Pale Ale. Before we get on to the India Pale Ale, let's talk a little bit about Shepherd Neame. Shepherd Neame are Britain's oldest brewer, independent brewer, first founded in 1698. Now, there's a few years after Truman's, who were founded in 1666, the year after the Great Fire of London. However, Truman's did sort of go into abeyance for about 15-20 years in the 90s and noughties. So, Shepherd Neame, they've been brewing continuously since 1698 in Faversham in Kent. Now, Faversham is the heart of the British hop country. And back in the day, my parents and grandparents told me stories about people going from the East End to pick hops, which was their summer holidays. This is back in the days before package tours. So you'd get people from the East End and they'd go out en masse and they would pick all the hops from the hop fields for the brewers. There's not many hop fields left, but Faversham in Kent is kind of the heart of the hop country, and that's where this beer comes from. It's also an unusual beer because it's brewed to a recipe that they found in a brewer's journal from the 1880s. So what they did was they took this recipe, they actually had to decode the brewer's journal because they wrote them in code. And it's generously brewed with Fuggles, local Fuggles, and I think Challenger hops. But I think this is a really interesting beer. It's an old recipe, been recreated. Let's pour it and you can have a look. A little bit lively. It's a full 500ml bottle, as always from Shepherd Neame. Fairly distinctive squat bottle. Now the nose is what I call old school hops. They're Fuggles and Fuggles and Goldings. My apologies. Traditional British hops. On a light malt base, you can see it's a good ambery colour, maybe copper, with a generous head. Where I think this differs from a lot of IPAs, because I've spoken before about American Pale Ales, Double Pale Ales, Imperial Pale Ales, Red Pale Ales, Black Pale Ales. This I think is unusual in that it's probably the sort of pale ale that a Victorian trooper on the front in India would recognise as a pale ale. It's not in your face hot bomb that will strip the enamel off your teeth. It's a good, robust, slightly metallic tasting, those hops, but it's a good, robust IPA. I've got a few of these on my shelf and my local pub has now started to stock these. The downside to that is it's 6.1% ABV, which means it's not really suitable as a session beer, but it's a good way to start the evening, or as it is at the moment, if on a cold, chilly winter's evening, or it will be later, this is a cracking beer to be going on with. So Shepherd Neame, I think I gave it 4.5 or 5 stars. It's certainly worthy of that. This is a real modern or recreation of a classic, and it is great. If you find it on your shelves, go for it. I love it. Cheers.